Welcome. It's so good to see you.
Welcome.
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 So is Raven one hell of a guy. He is the warrior of the stars. He ain't afraid to give his life. He ain't the one to go run from a fight. He's always brave and one hell of a guy. He is the warrior of the stars. He's star, star, star.
Wait, who is this gracing this wonderful podcast?
Star Warrior Donkey Kong.
What Dave is trying to say
Yes. What am I trying to say?
is he wants to be the very best.
I wanna be the very best, like no one ever was.
Like no podcast that there ever was.
That this was originally similar to what Virtua Cop was, which is constantly brought up in the development, that this was an on-rails shooter at first, which I had no idea. I guess it makes sense based on technology and time and everything, but like I just can't even imagine that being this game or even a game like that on the 64 at that time. It feels like it was like that for so long in development too, which is so crazy to me.
Totally. Yeah, it was real. This was the one thing about the development process that I got really mixed answers from the guys about. They really had trouble remembering when it came off the rails. Some of them said, we always wanted to put it off the rails. And others said, we didn't decide for sure that we were going to take it off the rails until after Super Mario 64 came out and we saw how fun an open world was on the N64. I mean, part of the problem is they didn't have an N64 for the vast majority of the development process. They didn't have the controller. They didn't know it was possible. They didn't know what the console was really going to be able to do. But yeah, they were so committed to the Virtual Cop model that they would go to the arcade and bring big bags of coins and sort of sit there and feed the machine coins and really learn Virtua Cop. One of the first artist hired on the game, Carl Hilton, was giving some advice to his friend Brett Jones when Brett was applying to be the second artist on the game. And Brett Jones had never played a video game before. He was a real talented artist, and he knew a lot about James Bond. He was a huge James Bond nerd, but he didn't play video games. So Carl Hilton told him, listen, in your interview, just make sure you talk a lot about Virtua Cop. It's really important to Martin. And Brett did, and got the job. So there's I mean, I mentioned this in the book, but there's footage of it on the rails still all the way up through, I mean, like within maybe 6 to 9 months of it coming out.
I think I wrote down that it was so last minute. It was E3 96. You wrote in the book that it was still technically on rails, and that's when Mario 64 and Goldeneye were shown. And it's
just crazy.
I don't like,
and there's still definitely levels that show that influence, right? So like the train level really feels like a rails level. It's very linear, you're just
tight.
Shooting guys as they pop out. But the fact that then you can also have levels you get lost in, maze-like levels or levels where you can really have a different strategy approach depending on, I mean, it made the game, the fact that it's open world. And so, huge decision.
Yeah, I can't believe that. I can't believe it. I just can't. It blows my mind.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
What blows my mind is the fact that they didn't have a dev kit. They didn't have any. I remember reading that. I'm like, nothing? Like,
no, nothing.
How do you design something for something you have no idea how it's like?
I know.
That's wild.
I know. Yeah, it's wild, and it definitely led to a lot of challenges in their process. Whether it was the musicians trying at the last minute to, basically they were told the N64 could do a lot more than it ended up being able to do. So that meant the artists were screwed on, the size of some of their images and files. They had to do a lot of work compressing and cutting and shrinking things. Same thing with the musicians. And I do think that the thing about the N64 controller is that it's I guess according to legend, the controller was really designed for Mario 64. It's a controller that plays really well for that game. But then the Goldeneye guys, it's a horrendously sort of horrible controller for a first-person shooter. However, if you play with one controller in each hand and you have one control stick for aiming and one for moving, it technically is the first dual analog control stick shooter.
Right. Which is also, I honestly, I don't know how long have nerds like me or us been on the internet. I did not know
Nope, did
that
not know.
was a thing
Did not
until
know.
I think less than a year ago. I had no idea.
So
No idea.
crazy, so awkward. And I feel like now that the game has been re-released for Xbox and
Yes.
Switch, which it wasn't at the time that my book came out, there were rumors about it, right? But it hadn't happened. Now, I don't know about you guys if you've played it on those consoles, but I cannot get used to it. I cannot get used to doing Goldeneye with dual analog. I kind of hate it.
I have my Xbox controller still sitting beside me because I opened it back up and played like the first 2 stages again.
Cool. How did it go?
Today. So I have the cartridge, I have a Switch, and I have it on Xbox because I have Game Pass. So I dabbled in all of them, but I think I'm just too tailored to playing with dual sticks now. So
really,
yeah. So I think I'm kind of I'm talking about this game that's 25 plus years old, and yet here I am playing it with an Xbox and an Xbox controller. I think for me, my mind now works where I have a separate joystick to constantly look around, as opposed to not relying on auto aim, but auto aim is obviously something that is big in the original and on the Switch as well. It works almost exactly the same. And having to press R and look around and stuff is fine because you don't always have to do it.
Yeah.
But I found I was like looking, like I was doing this and I was walking in weird directions and stuff, which is
really
similar.
Hard.
Yeah, it just feels a little bit awkward, and I don't know if that's because that's the way it always was, but I don't remember it feeling that way. But it's interesting because me and Jiggy just played Force Gemini, and it works almost exactly the same, except that's technically third person. When you have to kill all the enemies in order to unlock a door, the door wasn't unlocked, but I couldn't see an enemy anywhere. But I could hear one every once in a while, and every once in a while, the little red indicator on the left or the right of my screen would go off to tell you that one was like around the corner or just out of sight or whatever.
Interesting.
And then I would throw a grenade at like the corner of the wall where that sound was kind of coming from, and then I would just see the green blood come out and it would die, and then the door would open. So that happened a couple of times. Yeah.
Yeah,
so
and
it
that's
just got
not on the
stuck in the wall.
64.
Yeah, so it spawned into the wall. It wasn't shooting at me, which is interesting. It's not like it was seen through the wall. It just, and I couldn't see it. It's not like I could see the antenna or its foot or its gun sticking out of the wall. I could just hear it and see the indicators, and that's it. And the guns wouldn't do anything because the wall was in the way. Yeah. So I used grenades in order to get an explosion, and 1 or 2 grenades later, I was like, okay, the door's unlocked.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah, nothing like that happens on the 64. At least not to me, but I will say it was kind of annoying when you do kill all the enemies and then one is like laying on the ground just
spasming.
Then there's just it's just a matter of time before they just perish. But for some reason they add that detail and they sit there for like 10 seconds and you're like, why isn't this door opening? And then you turn around, see it on the ground, and then it starts to disappear and you're like, oh, okay. And then the door opens.
Yeah. You hear the flies buzzing. That's how you know that the one's on the ground. Yeah. Which is like another one of those details of the game that is like extra gruesome in a game that is sort of lighthearted and sort of like not family friendly, but sort of like geared towards maybe slightly gamers, but also not. And I'm just like, is this game supposed to be violent or is it not? Like, I don't like, I know they're just bugs, but
at the same time, they give you guns that can like explode things like giant rockets. And these bugs, they explode and there's blood everywhere. There's like bug blood everywhere. And it's clearly like trying to push that rating. It's teen, right? I think it's teen. I don't have it in front of me.
It is. Yeah, it is. Yeah, which makes sense. That's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with that, right? I think that makes sense. But like those weapons, the gruesome stuff, the sort of like, and like when you have like a bunch of enemies that say throw a grenade and it's just like, I'm overwhelmed, I gotta throw something. And even if they don't die, the blood splatter is just like, it's like it's all over
everywhere.
You.
It's
everywhere. The sound effect doesn't stop. Like it's just all these details. It's green. They're bugs, like I said, but there's something about that feels this like, this mix of attitude and mix of tone that this game, I don't know what kind of balance they're going for here. Like I've seen a couple of like clips and interviews and, things like that from even like 15 years ago when people were talking about this game and it was only 10 years old and being like, we wanted to strike this balance and stuff. And I don't know if they struck the balance or if they should have just gone to the full teen or mature side, or should have just dumbed it down to be a little bit more child friendly. So it's stuck somewhere in between. I think playing it is totally fine for the way that works, but that balance I think was a little bit off depending on what mission and what area you were in, and what weapons you were using. I think also mattered.
Yeah, and so getting into it, we're kind of like crossing the line of the gameplay.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Let's do it. Oh yeah.
So the gameplay, it's kind of, it's not bad, but it's not great either. It's kind of in between. And I don't know what it is on the rare replay. Like can you use twin sticks? Is that like,
no. So what happens is, and I wrote, so that's one of the reasons why we'll get to this, eventually. Like we're going to be playing GoldenEye on here, because obviously we are.
Yeah.
That the version of that on the Xbox, not on the Switch, but on the Xbox, is twin sticks. Is modern controls, and it's great, and it feels great. The game is the same game, but it plays even better. Jiggy, do you have experience with this game or Doom in general? Do you have a history with Doom?
Nope.
Really?
None,
you know what?
Period.
You know what it is I think it's the age difference.
It is the age difference.
I feel like that's probably what it is.
I don't know how old Matt is, but this is a game that I definitely was not allowed to play when I was a kid.
Right.
So
right. Fair enough. So is this?
I will go even further than this. Like Conquer, maybe if I pushed hard enough, I could have gotten them to like that was teetering the line, because it was rated M, but the box art's so cute. Doom, my mom will be like, "Oh, we're going to church for just looking at that box art."
And so, is this your first Doom game you've ever played?
No, I did play not Eternal, the one before Eternal.
Doom 2016.
Yeah, I did play that one. Not all the way through, but I did play it.
Nice.
But,
so
this
as far as the old school Dooms, the sort of OG Dooms go, this is it. Damn, that's
never played it.
See,
I've always seen it. I've just been like, oh, why would I play this when I have what I have now?
I mean,
sure.
that's fair to in a number of franchises, I would say. I kind of understand that. I see that.
I would play it if I had it easily accessible. I'm just not going out of my way to go play it. That's
right, which is one of the things that Matt was mentioning, is the fact that there was this particular version of Doom was not accessible really at all for 15 years or something, at least, if not more, like almost 20. The original Doom has been available on everything, including tractors. So like, you could do what
calculators,
everything, right? So this has not been played on a John Deere, so I'm not sure if that makes it elite level yet or not, but it's close. It's close. So
I still play plenty of platformers today, so I'm still thinking I would love the experience as much. Well, it depends. There are some things about it that I'm like, I don't know if I can handle it anymore, because that game, there were some challenges with it for sure.
What stuff stands out, or what stuff do you remember like that?
So the game. So I don't know if you haven't beaten the game yet, but
I did finish it.
Oh, you did?
I did. Yeah, I did it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Awesome. So there's these gems you have to collect. And in each stage, there's gold gems, and they're either hidden or whatnot very well.
They're harder to get, really.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. They're so much harder to get. But with the bosses, you have to defeat the bosses without getting hit. And that part really is... I don't know if I have the patience anymore. When I'm like 13 years old, I had the patience, I had the skills, I had the reflexes to dodge missiles and whatever they're throwing at me.
And let's be honest, you had the time.
the time too. So, that part really is not the most appealing to me. I used to be more of a completionist, and now that I'm a lot older, it's, you know what, let me just get through the game. But also a part of the game is you have to get all of the gold gems in order to see the complete ending of the game. And so that would bug me so much that I would get all these gems and I'm missing one and I don't know what happens at the end.
Right.
I do know what happens at the end, but I'm just saying, like, as an adult, like, it'd be nice to see.
Yeah. So I completed it, and I was going through the game not knowing this whole gem situation. I didn't.
Oh.
So for me, because okay, so here's the other thing about doing shows like this and playing games, you know, either through emulation or on just a cartridge and stuff.
Sure.
I'm sure I could go and find the manual of this game online and flip through it, and it would tell me, it would give me some information, but I tend to forget, or I don't do it because I'm just like, I'm just gonna jump into the game and just experience it, you know, sort of like, hey, I'm renting this game from Blockbuster and I'm just gonna play it for the week. That's kind of how I approach some of these, especially if it's like a single player platformer like this. I'm sitting there going, how complicated is this? I'm like, come on, I got this. I got it, right? So that's sure. Wait, at least so I told myself. And that's what I did with this. I was like, you know what, it'll be fine. I'll figure it out. I kind of remember playing this at a friend's place. I think I told you earlier that, like, you know, one of our friends, family friends, she had a 64, and she was the only person. This is the same person. If anyone listens to the Yoshi's Story episode, it's the same person that had Yoshi's Story and this game. And
she has phenomenal taste,
right? And but it's the only person I knew that had those games, outside of the typical Mario Kart and Zelda, and those were sort of like her side games, or whatever you want to call them, like sort of like next tier down or whatever. Anyways, I played them at the same household, and that's the only experience I have with this game. And I was like, okay, I kind of remember these early levels. Like, I remember the shake, of course. Like, how could you not?
Shake.
How could you not?
1,000,000 times throughout the game.
Right, exactly. So like all those things, I was like, okay, I got this. And I went into it, and I found a couple of those gold gems, and I, you know, picked them up. I'm like, oh, it's giving me a bunch of health. Great. Cool. They're sort of like getting 50 coins at once or something. That's kind of what it feels like, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Did I know that it had anything to do with the ending or the bosses? Or nope. I had no. Did I know that it was counting how many I had? I had no idea. I didn't know there was like an overall tally. I was just like, sure, I got 2 of them on this stage. Great. Cool. I found it. So and then the bosses, like, no chance I'm going without getting hit. Like, no way.
Right, exactly. No. That was like top tier get good gaming back then. Like, I'm not, and I did it. It was like one of the achievements of my damn life. I got all the gems in this game. I know the ending.
I thought you knew the ending because you looked it up.
No, this is a personal experience. Like,
oh my God.
Team Slunko was really good at this. I mean, it took blood, sweat, and tears. Sure. A lot of tears, but I got it. But if I were to do it now, no way.
You know, I really like the ones. Where's the one here? I'm trying to find it. I think it is. I gotta find it. If you have one, go for it. I'm gonna find the name of the one. That
I have 2. Okay. I have 2 that I feel like are.
I mean, we can pick a top 3 if you want. The rest. We can pick a top 3 if you want. Okay.
Okay, I do have a top 3. Okay. I do have a top 3. And so number 1 for me, I think, is Crazy Cutters, which is where you ride the little jackhammer and you do I'm doing the motion, and you do the outline.
I love how everyone can hear it, but they can't, like, if they're not watching, they can't see it. I'm watching. Yeah, you cut the outline of a character. Yeah.
Usually an enemy like a Boo or something, and just whoever gets like the best stencil wins. And I've just always really enjoyed that. It's fun. Number 2, I don't know what it's called, but it's a Bowser face, and it makes a weird face and contorts. And then you have to try and like Mario 64, like that opening with the Mario face, how you adjust the segments and areas of his face. You have to do that and make it stick and just make it morph into the contorted face in the middle of the screen. That one's also a lot of fun. And then the third one could probably flip around a little bit, but the one that came to mind was there's a skateboard one I know it's in the first one for sure.
Oh,
and you like ride the skateboard to the end, and you have to like keep speeding up and jumping over blocks and stuff.
Yeah,
escape from the lava.
I'm looking at the one right now that might be in the second one, but I know it's exactly.
I'm positive it's in the first one.
In the first? Okay.
Yeah, it's like ramp something or.
Oh, Platform Peril. There you go. That's what it is.
It's cool.
Yeah, that is a good one. Oh no, that's not with the skateboard. That's just jumping.
No, a platform is jumping. Yeah,
it's
jumping like
through the sky.
It's a skateboard. I'm gonna look it up right now because.
Yeah. Okay, so while you do that, I'll tell you what mine is. My favorite is the one that you mentioned. It's called Facelift. It's the one where you basically contort the face of the picture.
Yeah, that's cool.
One, it's fun because at this point, almost everybody played Mario 64 and spent like an hour just messing with Mario's face. So that's basically what this is. It also adds a lot of variability because you can be pretty far off or think you've got it, but someone just has that slight percentage sort of advantage to you. So I like this one. It's not super stressful, but it also takes some skill for sure. So I like that. We played in Mario Party 3. We played the Rockin' Raceway, the horses where you rock back and forth and you're kind of going around the track or whatever.
Yeah,
that one's up there for me. I really like it.
Really?
Yeah, I really like it. I like the fact that you have to manage your A, B, and your energy and stuff before you spin out. And I kind of like the fact that everyone's, I like the aesthetic of it and stuff. There's that.
Sure.
And then
you beat me in that every single time,
yeah.
so I
so
hate
maybe
that
that's
one.
what it is. Yeah. And then we have another shared one. The Crazy Cutter one is great. The sort of tracing around it. It's so simple, but it's a lot of fun. And again, it's similar to the Facelift one where you could feel like, oh, I got this, 100% I got this. But that tiny little extra polygon or pixel that you may have missed could make the difference between that. And I think that is great. And the fact that Mario Party 1, and I think a couple of these are also in 2, the fact that that is in the first game, those two games that we both share between those two, shows that the simplicity of the first one and the ideas that they came up with just on the first one and kind of dropped a couple games later are actually pretty damn good. And that I think that's impressive. I find that pretty impressive. I enjoy that.
And then there's the boss check, and then you have the construction yard, then you have an alleyway, then you fight the slime, and then you finally make it to Al's Toy Barn. And it's I just like how there's like this, what could have just been like this like cohesive level structure turns out to be really well structured and also visually really interesting. That Etch-a-Sketch thing is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
it is.
That's cool.
It is.
Yeah.
So I'm currently like, this lined up so perfectly, like unintentionally, but on my YouTube channel, I do a series called Analyzing Everything, where I like look at every aspect of a game. I'm looking at the graphics, the music, the sound effects, everything. And that I'm currently playing through Toy Story 2. So it just lined up with this podcast. And I'm just like, that Etch-a-Sketch menu is so creative.
Yeah.
It's so unique, and it's one of the best level select menus of any game I've ever seen, because it's just so, and it's interesting because it's a license from Hasbro, right? Because there's that weird Disney Pixar Hasbro toys connection, and like some of the characters in the game are actual like Hasbro toys and things like that. So just that connection and the liberty to use the actual like Etch-a-Sketch, like I think it's a one-off. I think it's the only time you're ever going to see that kind of a menu, and it was so unique and just really cool.
Yeah, it's a great way, because with such a large cast of characters in Toy Story, like it's that, Bug's Life, like especially a lot of these. I mean, most Pixar movies are kind of like that, especially like Cars and things like that later on. If you make a game or another TV show or something another medium outside of the movie, you want to kind of bring these characters in any way you can. Rex is used as sort of like a hint guy or whatever.
Okay, wait. We just need to say how annoying he is.
Yeah.
He's in like you're like, oh my gosh.
Doesn't stop.
The whole time.
Yeah.
If you're in his proximity, he will not shut the fuck up. It's all this screaming, Buzz, over here, Buzz.
I love him though. I love Rex.
I like Rex because he's this endearing character, but he can go die in a ditch in this game. I can't.
He doesn't shut up.
Like, he doesn't stop. I like all the other characters do that too. It's not just him, but his voice, like it, like if you, his voice stands out above the din of.
Yes, it does. It really
compared
does.
to everything else.
It doesn't. It feels a lot clunkier than your average fighting game, which is not something that you want in a fighting game, and it's pretty. I don't think it runs very well either.
It's pretty clunky. Like it is like it
very
does
clunky.
it honestly does feel like there's pieces of clay moving. like they're a little sticky, you know, they stick to the ground a little bit too much. Like I doubt that's intentional, but
probably not. But maybe. Who knows?
So it's interesting because I played mostly Sculptor's Cut just because it's the one that I had loaded up for the most part and whatever. So I played that. It's interesting that you say that for 63 and a third, like as much as the combo system and the fighting is probably better there because it has that Killer Instinct combo system. But you still felt like it was kind of chunky a bit.
Yeah.
Sculptor's Cut is very chunky. It's so weird because the changes that they made, they're like, oh, we made a Killer Instinct-like game. Let's take that away and make a Street Fighter-like game. So we don't have the same type of combos and stuff. And Street Fighter's just faster, smoother, snappier. So Sculptor's Cut...
Well, and also the camera is different. So like in the Sculptor's Cut, like you're showing right now, like it's that more zoomed out Street Fighter look, whereas in 63 and a third is a little bit more zoomed in, kind of closer like Killer Instinct, where you don't see as much of the arena, and it's you know, I mean, it also even is like semi 3D at times because it'll rotate like when you're fighting, and it'll kind of move like this, and you'll get different angles of stuff.
Yeah, kind of like some of the rooms kind of have some corners you go around or whatever.
Some of the rooms, the places have like transitional things, right, where you like hit the enemy, they go flying through the wall, they go flying through the doorway, and I actually. Normally, I would love those, but in this game, I dislike those.
Oh, how come?
Because they were like, you would hit it, you'd bounce into the other room, it would like stop the gameplay for a second to do that.
Yeah.
And then you'd be on the other side, you could accidentally hit them back and keep them in this cycle of going through the doorway. This happened to me. This legitimately happened to me in the Laffy Taffy guy, whatever he is.
Yeah.
In that like candy factory, in that room, I was fighting the clown guy and I like punched him and he went through the door and fell. And then I was on the other side. I punched him again. He went through the door and fell. I did it like 3 times in a row. And I was like, I stopped fighting and backed away so I could get out of that corner so I would be able to continue the fight. Well, it just took forever.
It looks like the Sculptor's Cut has some of that, a little bit of that 3D camera, because it looks like even in this arena, like you're kind of going around it.
Yeah.
Even though it's still trying to stay 2-dimensional, it kind of goes like that.
Yeah.
It's a little bit less so than the original, but it's still pretty similar.
It's still there. You're still technically fighting on a 2D plane, but the camera kind of just like swerves in a circle is kind of what it is.
Yeah.
They still have the transition things. And part of the problem, Jiggy, with like the transition stuff, like in other fighting games, it's like, okay, that's cool because it does extra damage, or now you're in a new area and you can do new things. But it doesn't really do anything in this. And the problem is, too, if you knock someone through a door, for example, or through a wall or something like that, and you keep knocking them back and forth like you said you were doing, you're going to do like no damage. It's not a significant move. It
sucked.
It actually kind of sucks, yeah.
But I will say that my guy didn't have as much cutting action as yours seemed to. I was definitely like a blunt force kind of a thing.
Okay.
I did like an I want to say AAB, like I did that combo a lot, or ABA, and he did like this like sweeping kick kind of a deal that could potentially like knock them off their feet.
Right.
But it was like my strategy for this game was, especially when I see those big blue ogre looking guys.
Yeah.
I just ran in and I just tapped the buttons and I would like pin them to a wall and just keep going. And then whenever I felt like, okay, that's enough, and I would stop, they would still be moving and be fine. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I basically just had a rule. I'm like, I just have to lay the hammer on for like 30 seconds straight and just hope they die.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting, so those big blue guys are like one of the first enemies that you see. Like I mentioned off the top, I'm like sort of goofy comment at the top. It was like this giant blue man group. Like he's just this giant hulking looking thing that is just blue, and I don't know what the hell unless it's a zombie, I don't know what the hell any of these things are supposed to be. And that's fine. Right. Doesn't really matter. You don't have to explain it. They're monsters. This Crowley or Crowley guy is, I don't know, launching monsters across London because evil person. And those things are funny because they take so long to take down sometimes. I would be hammering away at this enemy for so long. And the only way that I knew that I defeated it was because my adrenaline meter, that blue bar on the other side, went up a notch. That's the only way I knew that I killed it.
Yeah. Here's a question for you. How did you fare against, because the bane of my existence was actually the aerial-based enemies. Like gargoyles and things with wings that move fast, because you get into a fight and they'd like jump around, right? So you're almost in like this little zone. Think of it like in Zelda Ocarina of Time when you lock onto an enemy, except you don't control when you lock onto an enemy. It does it automatically.
Or what the camera does for the most part.
Or the camera does. But like the enemy will be hopping around you and you'll be trying to attack and you'll be hitting forward. They'll move behind you. It makes it very easy for them to dodge. And even worse, when you get into an area with multiple enemies and they're attacking, like, I'm the type of person, I'm locking onto an enemy, I'm ignoring everyone else, I'm going to defeat that enemy, then move on to the next one, you know? Focusing. And this was like, it did not allow you to do that. They would get in, you'd just be missing that person, and then another enemy would hit you. And that, I feel, is just a reflection of the way they chose to do the gameplay. So it's very, the best way to describe how the camera works, if you've ever played Croc, this is exactly what it's like. It's it's locked behind you, and you move the joystick, you move left and right, and it stays behind you sort of, but it also
mostly, but not always.
Mostly, yeah. But it tries to account for enemies on screen and stuff, so sometimes it gets a little wonky and pulls back. I would say it definitely was hard at first, but it gets easier as you get used to it. It's kind of that situation. You need to play through a few levels, and it gets easier. You know, it's still not ideal. And this is why I was saying earlier, why did they throw attacks into the C buttons? Because you don't use the C buttons really, other than you can jump with them, but you could have easily put the jump button on anything else. I mean, I don't know.
I know,
or even just limit it to the down C button as a jump or something. I don't know.
The positioning of the C buttons doesn't make sense. Why is down, which the jump, maybe you don't use a ton, but somehow it felt like it was more intuitive for down C to be the jump button, and yet it is left C, and I don't understand that.
Yeah,
it didn't feel right.
It didn't feel right. The jump isn't really like, for those expecting that it's a platformer that you're jumping, it's not. It's kind of like,
it's a hop. It's a little hop.
You know how in Zelda you hop over a gap and it automatically does it for you, and you just kind of, it's not a jump per se so much as you're skipping. That's basically what it is. You're not jumping. You have momentum. You move forward. You're always moving forward. And it's left C button. It doesn't. It's not the worst thing I've ever felt, but it certainly could have been better and thought out a little more. I would have loved to see the down C button being the jump, and then using the left and right C buttons to change the camera angle, because this game kind of desperately needs that ability.
Because it's now I'm the type of person where on any sort of third-person action game that isn't a shooter where you're pretty much always behind your character, because the reticle and all that kind of stuff, I'm the person who always wants the camera, or for the most part, unless it's a certain traversal element, wants the camera behind my character. So in some ways, I was okay with this. Like, some people are okay with, every once in a while, I'll just sort of, it'd be fine if I'm to the left or to the right or whatever. And I just pretty much just always want it that way. Like, even in racing games, I'm not playing first person, I'm playing behind. you know, I want to play a third person version of my vehicle. One, so I can see my vehicle, and two, I don't know, it just feels more like a video game that way.
I think you give it a Dynasty Warriors treatment. Let's just have tons of enemies running at you at the same time.
Oh shit.
Okay.
Let's give Superman all his powers accessible at all times. There's no limit. I don't know why they would ever do that. That was dumb. But if you treated it like, you know, like a Dynasty Warriors like hack and slash, like running through just like every level, and you give you plenty of space to work, right? I think that would be a lot cooler.
Yeah, like you said, that you had a lot of fun with like the practice mode because it was more sandbox like. And when you mentioned that Xbox game, that sounds like a great idea to me. Superman is definitely something that would work better in a wide open space. Why is he flying through underwater tunnels? Like, it doesn't jive with me. But if it's open sandbox and you're just dozens of mooks coming at you like mobs, henchmen, that makes sense. Because the enemies in this, I don't want to say damage sponges, but they take a few hits. And again, you're Superman. Why do they take more than one punch? Right? It doesn't make a lot of sense.
It was on the footage that you had, Dave, but there's a scene in like the first part where you go and there's like 4 enemies lined up.
Yeah.
And you just stop, and first off, Superman's like punching animation is just silly. He's just like uppercut, like.
Also, his run is hilarious. His body doesn't move. It's just his arms.
All arms.
Yeah.
All arms.
Looks like a mole walker. That's what he looks like.
Like
great posture.
Great posture though. Great posture.
A nutcracker.
Nutcracker. That's it.
Like,
yeah.
But yeah, you punch them, right? And they're animated hilariously when you punch them. They're like, they like fly off the screen, and it's so satisfying to just go down a line of them and just punch. They're one shots. They go flying. That's what Superman is.
That's what it should be. Or you fly into them and just knock them all down like they're bowling pins. Like,
yeah, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
That'd be so much fun. It doesn't, now obviously
you could fly them up in the sky and just drop them.
Oh my God, that'd be great. It'd be great.
There's the one stage where you have to fight Darkseid. I think it's Dark. Yeah, it's Darkseid.
Yeah.
And you have a small skirmish with him. You punch him a few times. He falls flat on his back, which does not make sense. But then you're picking him up above your arms and you're walking down the hallways. I think you're supposed to take him to a cop car, I think it is, to get him arrested.
I think so.
Which, this is like one of the new gods, one of those powerful supervillains in their mythos, and you're picking him up over your shoulder, getting stuck on the ceiling because Superman 64 geometry, and he's getting arrested by the cops. This is the battle. This is what's in Lex's simulation. Like,
that's the other thing is this is all so the ring thing. All of this stuff that's happening is supposed to be a simulation.
It's all a game.
It's literally all a game. Do you want to play a game?
It's what it is.
No, I definitely do not. Is this the dark seed level? No, it's not. Hold on. I'm trying to change it over so we can see it. But it's like, oh my God, it's moving so clunky. What is this person playing this thing on?
So this is the stage where there's destructible walls. And if you're in the area of those, the frame rate tanks. Like, it's a cool concept, destructible walls,
right?
But they ruin the frame rate. And
right.
Well, maybe one of those things where I wish they could have performed it better.
Yeah, like that's. And here's the shadow figures.
The shadow henchmen.
They look like like just a punch.
Show it.
Hey, there goes the wall.
Oh wait, there he goes. Look
at them physics.
Look at those physics. Ah!
Oh, I love it.
Oh man, I am insanely disappointed the sound is not working. Well, you know what? The sound is really great, and instead what I'm going to do is I'm going to insert the music right here. Guys, wasn't that beautiful?
Wow, it was so beautiful.
Wasn't that beautiful, guys?
Heard it. It was great.
It was so great.
I really love the really stupid ones that I love are the third and fourth goal ones, for like when you finish a race in like third or fourth place. They're so chill, and then like they're just so good.
Like, so it's so funny because the guy that's commenting is like, "Oh, you're in second. You're 10 seconds behind. You're 3 seconds ahead or whatever." And then when you come in like third or fourth, he just goes, "Try harder," or
not even close.
"Oh, too bad." Or like he like insults you. He just goes from being, like you said, he goes from being like kind of friendly and like encouraging to, "What the hell is wrong with you? Race better." Essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Going zipping through checkpoint after checkpoint on the fortress place, dude. Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Rip my hair out.
Okay. Good luck. You left everybody behind.
Max power.
Yeah. Also, then like you hear the engine rev too, just
yeah, dude.
You feel it. You feel the power.
It's it's definitely I think it definitely enhances the game though. Like I do think that the music and the sound effects and stuff are pretty good. I do appreciate that they kind of made sure that was a good solid part of the game. You know, it's not this massive soundtrack. It's not like you have a million different sounds or whatever, but like they could have easily just done wave noises and the engine's very basic and then just called it a day. Because that's kind of what a lot of stuff at that time was doing anyways, right? So yeah.
You could have licenses that like holy shit, licensed it out and had like all Rob Zombie all the time on this fucker. Like they did with Twisted Metal 4 or some shit. Instead, Nintendo was like, no, dude, they fucking with a sick fucking soundtrack for this, and even like Blue Storm, but they did a really, really fucking awesome job on these games and the soundtrack. Like, bring it back.
I know.
I'll fucking choke whoever I need to get this goddamn series back, dude. It's so fun. Yeah,
I'm gonna try this sound and see if it works.
Okay.
No.
Dragula,
come on,
tearing through the ditches. Can you imagine like ripping through these fucking checkpoints? Dragula.
That would be amazing. There's only one perfect band for this though, and it's Nickelback.
Oh god.
Oh man.
Don't drag
this photograph.
Don't drag the Canadian embarrassments into this.
Creed.
Please.
Some Creed going, can you take me higher?
The effort of having that band, like having an actual band, and they make their lyrics, like they change them up so that they're related to what's happening in the game. So it's about jet skis or something, right? It's like, can you rev me higher?
Look at this
over
jet ski.
Waves where the shorelines are. Something like that. I don't know.
Oh my god. Never made it as a jet ski. Couldn't cut it as a jet ski. Then this is how you jet ski. Holy fuck. Cut that part out. No, leave it in. Fuck it, I don't care.
Are you kidding? There's no way that's not staying in.
It's gotta stay.
It is. You know what? Actually, I think I found the new theme song for the entire show.
When you get to Sector Z, she'll show up and actually help you hit the missiles, which is welcome because it's actually helpful. You know, so when they're helpful like that, it's awesome. Like if you help Bill and all of them in Katina, then he shows up later. I don't remember what stage off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Maybe
Solar. He shows up in Solar and he just like helps you kill a couple of enemies so you can get some health.
Yeah, he's not
and
there
then
very long.
in Sector X, he helps you to unlock the gates so that you can go into.
Oh, that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Kat will show up in.
Just shows up once, right? Like,
she will show up in both of the level. I don't think she just shows up in Z. She'll show up and help you if you go the other way too.
I think it's Macbeth, and she just shows up near the beginning and takes down a couple of enemies and then disappears.
It's nothing.
The problem with her showing up in Z is that if you're looking to get the medal for C, she automatically takes down one of the missiles. So you're basically locked out of getting the medal when she does that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Oh no.
Oh man,
you just gotta be quick.
that sucks.
You got to be quicker than her, but
it's hard, right? Because you're paying attention to 5 other things. Yeah.
Right?
I like
the enemies in that stage are very aggressive,
Yeah,
and they will take down your team if you don't help them.
Yeah, and without her, it's a pretty difficult stage. I think, like it's definitely for me it was, at least anyway, for when I was replaying them. But I like
it when their friends show up.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
I like it when other animals show up and say dumb animal noises, and like they talk about their history or whatever.
Yeah.
Like, it's fun.
I
They
think
talk about their history. They create this little narrative, and like you start wondering, like oh, Bill and Fox were friends in elementary school or something. You know? And you go,
Right.
Oh, Falco and Cat, what's going on there?
Because like when you're a kid, like you think about that crap, like because you have like you're playing this game all the time. Like, okay, well, I wonder what is about these people, and like I think it's so crazy that like Nintendo they had something like this could have been huge. Like they could have done story or something with this, and or had these characters that people just love and revere and still reference and like are in the pop culture, and they just did nothing with it.
That's true.
Yeah.
They sort of let it
Then
hang.
they explore it in the game that nobody played. You know,
Right.
In Command for DS, you have a bunch of different
I have it.
branching paths that you can take, and that's where they explain. Oh, and Andros had a nephew who hated him, and not a nephew, a grandkid that hated him and wanted to kill him. Fox and Crystals explained more, and Falco and Cat, and Bill and Fox, and all that stuff. But
So we got to get a re-release of that then. That's what I got to play.
Yeah,
because
Here's the thing. Let me
it's
say this
Fire Emblem
again.
Star Fox. It's awesome.
Oh,
I said it again though. Enough
Yeah,
gimmicks.
like it's one of those games. It's
enough
hard to emulate.
gimmicks.
I still prefer, like in my mind, I love Star Fox 64, and I got Star Fox Command being like, oh yeah, it's going to be Star Fox 64. It's the new Star Fox 64. It's on my DS. It's going to be amazing.
Yes.
And then it was like it had those moments. It had that a little bit of it, but it was different. It was fundamentally different, and it wasn't bad. I think I'd appreciate it now more than I did back then, because back then I was like, this isn't Star Fox 64.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, that's what you want. That's what I would have expected too if I had it at the time. Dude, thanks again. Thanks everyone for listening and watching if you've been watching us. Thank you for being with us. We will talk to everybody next time on Remember 64.